What's going on, everyone? This is Price, and apparently people are realizing how boring and casual the park has become this year in NBA 2K18. A whole lot of players are switching over to ProAm, but I've been on ProAm. I saw the park for what it was since the beginning, so I'm not surprised at all. ProAm is pretty much the only thing I actually enjoy in this game. Seriously, NBA 2K18's quality has dipped that much. But I don't want to post another negative video. I want to promote fun, because that's what video games are about. Today I will be giving you 5 tips that will instantly improve you and your team on ProAm. Let's get right to it. Tip number 1. Change your defensive settings. I bet there's a good amount of you watching this video and saying, what do you mean change defensive settings? That's a thing? Yeah, it's actually a thing. Here's how you can change your defensive settings. Press triangle when you're chilling in the neighborhood, go to the settings and scroll all the way down. See that bar? That's it. Now, before you max out the bar, let me explain exactly what this does, okay? It's not as simple as it appears. See, when you read defensive assist, I want you to think about aim assist. In Call of Duty or Destiny or whatever online shooter you've ever played. You know how aim assist kind of tugs at your crosshair just a tiny bit towards an enemy when he walks near you or in your line of sight? Well, that's kind of what defensive assist is doing. It kind of propels your player just a little bit towards your opponent when holding down the intense defense button, which is L2 on PS4 and LT on Xbox. Here's the issue with that though. If you're defending a ball handler and you have this setting maxed out, your ankles will be heavily damaged by the end of the game. Since your player is being propelled like some kind of magnet towards the person you're defending, a simple but quick crossover can literally make you go the opposite way. So here's my advice when messing around with this setting. If you're a point guard, shooting guard, or small forward, you know you're going to have to defend ball handlers, at least the majority of the time. Avoid setting your defensive assist to anything above 20. As a matter of fact, if I'm a point guard, I would leave it at 10. Now if you're a power forward or center, it's different because the majority of the time, you will not be defending ball handlers. You'll be defending guys that are going to be posting up on you or trying to get by you without the ball in order to find a perfect position for an easy dunk. That's when this really comes in handy. Your player will not let him by most of the time. Don't think that this is going to be flawless, but it does help. If you're a center or power forward, I would play around with this setting and find out which percent fits you best. I would suggest anything between 20 to 50. It's all about preference though. You have to test it out yourself. Tip number 2. Hit the gym. Everyone has seen that G-labeled gym to the left of the neighborhood spawn. I am about 80% sure that not a lot of players know what are the benefits of hitting the gym every once in a while. See that G with a percent below it? You're going to want to fill that up to 100, which only takes 3 workouts. What this does is add another energy bar when in game. It's nothing major, but it does help. Believe me, you will notice a difference. There's really not much else to say about that. On to the next one. Tip number 3. Work on your badges. Do not play Team ProAm if you do not have your main badges at silver at least. That is a good way to ruin your record. Badges make the player this year. Therefore, it doesn't matter what overall you are. If you don't have the badges, then you will not play up to par to compete. It's the truth. I main a two-way slashing small forward, but recently I made a sharpshooting playmaking point guard. I attempted ProAm and it went absolutely horrible. I couldn't even make open threes. It was ridiculous. Now that I do have the badges on silver, not even gold, I am making very crazy and very deep threes. We have a video on the fastest way to unlock badges, but to boil it down to just a few sentences, if you want to unlock badges fast, play my career games. Set the quarters to 12 minutes each and the difficulty to as low as possible. That is currently the fastest way, but it is a bit boring. So if anything, just get on ProAm walk-ons, and if you're lucky enough to be matched up with unselfish teammates, you'll be working on your badges at a good rate. Tip number 4. Learn to space the floor. Okay, these next 2 tips are based on actual strategy. This is something you're going to achieve after playing a good amount of games together. You guys need to learn to space the floor. If your team is struggling to score, then this is probably the reason why. So let's start by talking about what each position should be filled with. The point guard position should be filled with a playmaker. Every team needs a player whose focus is to get everyone on the team a good shot. If the point guard's focus is to be the main scorer of the team, then the team will not run as smoothly as it should. And even though the point guard might have dropped 30, the rest of the team will struggle scoring, therefore resulting in a loss. The shooting guard should be a shooter, simple as that, either a sharpshooter or a shot creator or both. The shooting guard position should be a pure scorer. The small forward position should be filled with the most versatile playstyle on the team. The small forward should be a player who can rebound, score inside the paint, and score outside the paint. Not necessarily a three-point shooter, but that would be ideal. The power forward should be a taller version of the small forward, meaning someone who can score inside and out, but can rebound at a higher rate than the small forward. The center position should be filled with an absolute beast in the paint, who can catch at least 8 rebounds every single game because he will be doing the most damage down there. Also, let me mention that the power forward role could be interchangeable with the center, meaning you can have a power forward that's a beast inside the paint, while the center focuses on offensive versatility. Okay, so just to give it a summary, what you should have on your team is 3 shooters, a playmaker, and 1 purely inside scoring big man. The reason why having 2 inside scorers doesn't always work is because the paint will start getting very congested, therefore not allowing the players on your team to drive the ball if their defender is playing them too tight. And that's something that happens to me a lot. My small forward is a two-way slasher. Yeah, I can shoot the mid-range decently, so I stay out there, but I'm really an inside scorer. I can't do what I'm best at if the power forward and center on my team are just sitting there waiting for the rebound or a chance to score. If I drive, all their defenders have to do is press triangle. At that point, I will have 3 defenders going for the block, mine, the power forward, and the centers. A perfect example of good spacing is the game that I'm playing right now on screen. Everyone on the team can drive freely without worrying about 2 or 3 guys jumping at them. Do you want me to tell you the secret to absolutely lock down a team to the point where they can't score at all? Well then here's tip number 5. Learn zone defense. Listen, if you take anything from this video, let it be this tip. Learning to play zone defense can take your team from mediocre to elite. That's how good zone defense is when you're running it correctly. Now, it's not as simple as it sounds, okay? Because the thing about zone defense is that it can be broken down. So your point guard needs to know when to change the defense. The point guard is the only one who can change the defense, by the way. Just in case you're wondering why I said your point guard. The beauty of zone defense is that you can tweak it to work a specific way that you and your team prefer in certain situations. But that's between you and your team. For example, if you see that when the ball reaches the left corner and your defense shifts to the left, if they're skip passing the ball to the opposite corner, you can just tell the person guarding the right corner, yo, don't shift towards the left anymore, just stay on the right. The rest of us will make the adjustment. The point of zone defense is so that no one on your team will have to guard their man one-on-one all the time. The team is constantly helping and shifting, and if you and your team can perfect it and find out how it works best for you guys, you'll instantly start winning more. Just take into account things such as, who's the best one-on-one defender on your team? Do you want him up top or down low? Do you want to minimize help defense or focus on corners? Things like that can only be tweaked by you and your team. And that'll wrap up this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and comment below. Did these tips work for you? Is there any other tips you might like to add? Let me know in the comment section. Trust me, I reply. Don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss the next video. Until next time.
Giannis Antetokounmpo is averaging 36.8 points per game, 10.8 rebounds per game, and dishing out 5 assists per game. If these numbers don't impress you, nothing will.